everyone, welcome back. It's Udaya Prongs, and today we're going to be doing something a little on the educational side. Pull that up. Yes, we're going to be reacting to and seeing if we have any of the traits, rare traits. This thing's being retarded. Give me a second. Any rare traits that come up sometimes, the little mutations or, things that we evolved from or to and all that sort of thing. I've always been fascinated in this particular type of the science, so just wanted to share my love of it with you, and who knows, maybe find out that you got a rare thing. Just give me 1 second to switch over. Voila. And away we go. And I think Brightside for this particular content, 44.5 million views on it. So, see how many traits we've got.
Greeks have just one line running across their palm, while the majority of the world's population has two. Also called the simian crease, this feature is found only in 1.5% of the world's population. Men are more likely to have a single palmar crease than women. In most cases, it runs in families. Less than 50 people have ever had the Rh null blood type, dubbed golden blood.
Oh yeah.
For the first time, this blood type was discovered in an Australian Aboriginal woman. This unique blood type is universal and can be accepted by anyone, even those with rare blood types within the Rh system. 3% of people all over the planet have lines creating the letter X on both their hands. This is a rare phenomenon, and in many cultures, this feature is believed to be a sign of a strong character. About 25% of people have an interesting reaction to sunlight. They sneeze. This phenomenon even has its own name, the photic sneeze reflex. In the Greek language, it's called sun sneezing. In some people, saliva accumulates in a gland under their tongue. Then it can get propelled out in a stream.
I have this one.
Presses on this gland. If the mouth is open at the moment, a jet can reach several feet.
I hate that I have that.
Called gleeking can occur spontaneously.
It can
A person
gleek.
accidentally pushes their tongue against the gland while eating, yawning, talking, or cleaning their teeth, and voila! Up to 35% of people can gleek, but just 1% can do it.
Don't do it with coffee.
Less than 1% of the world's population has dextrocardia. That's a rare condition when the heart points toward the right side of the chest rather than the left side. Sometimes people with this unique feature have all their internal organs on the mirror.
They got mirror swapped.
Ocular albinism affects only a person's eyes. Their hair and skin are usually a bit lighter than that of their family members, but the difference isn't that dramatic. Albinism is a rare feature to have, but if it's ocular, that's even more unique. Experts don't have exact numbers, but they think between one person in 20,000 to one person in 50,000 have ocular albinism.
It's kind of cool looking.
You may have a tiny hole at the top of your ear where it meets the temple. If so, you're among 10% of the world's population. This hole is most commonly found on the right side, but some people have it on both of their ears. These holes may go all the way through, or they can be dimples, dents, or even small lumps. Around 65% of the world's population have loop-shaped fingerprints. In 30% of people, fingerprints are whorl-shaped, and only 5% of people have arch-shaped fingerprints. All these types are divided into smaller groups. For example, there might be plain or tinted arches, accidental whorls, or peacock's eye, and so on. Hey, who knew? Most people have 12 pairs of ribs, which makes 24 in total. But 1 in 200 people has an additional 25th rib. Called cervical, it forms at the base of the neck above the collarbone. It can grow on the left, right, or even both sides. Those with extra ribs most likely know nothing about this modification. That's because
modification, like they got genetically altered.
And can look like a thin strand of tissue. In this case, you won't even see it on an X-ray. If you have a circular hair whorl on your head, it's likely to be clockwise. Some scientists think there's a genetic link between hair whorl direction and handedness. A bit more than 8% of right-handed people have counterclockwise hair whorls, but in the left-handed, this number grows up to 45%. When you're asked to clasp your hands, which finger do you put on top? If it's the right thumb above the left one, you're among 50% of the world's population. 49% of people position their left thumb above the right, and a mere 1% place their thumbs next to each other. Red hair occurs naturally in a mere 1 to 2% of the world's population.
Yeah.
Most often, redheads have northern or northwestern European origin. This color is caused by a genetic mutation. The hue can vary from bright copper and auburn to red orange and strawberry blonde. Only 3 to 22% of people in the world have Morton's toe. It's a foot structure when the second toe is longer than the first one. Michelangelo's David and the Statue of Liberty both have this unusual body feature. And they aren't even alive. Oops, spoiler, sorry. Only 2 people out of every 10,000 have an unusually shaped pupil. Most commonly, it resembles a keyhole. This eye disorder is called coloboma.
Kingdom Hearts. Next, it's Kingdom Hearts 4, I swear. All the keyholes are going to be people's eyes.
Luckily, people with this condition don't usually have any problems with their vision. You know,
cool,
on second thought, it's not so rare. All of my teachers thought I was an unusual pupil. Having different colored eyes, heterochromia, is a rare body feature that occurs in less than 1% of people. It can be complete, then a person has eyes of 2 different colors, for example, one brown and one blue. A person can also have a differently colored ring around the pupil. It's central heterochromia.
I have that.
Partial heterochromia is when a part of one iris has a different color from the rest of it. People with dystichiasis have one more row of eyelashes. This phenomenon is a genetic mutation. It's not harmful in any way, but can cause some discomfort.
It's annoying.
Hair can grow where an oil gland is supposed to be on the wet part of the eyelid. Then it causes irritation and tearing. There are people who don't have to stress over how much calcium they consume. They have a rare mutation in the LRP5 gene. It gives them mega-dense bones almost unable to break. One of the drawbacks of this condition, such people have difficulty staying afloat while swimming. Some women have supercolor vision, tetrachromacy, thanks to special cells in their eyes. These cells are called cones, and a regular person has 3 types of them. But tetrachromats have 4 cones. It allows them to see 100 million different colors. The TEC
I want to see how to test
people
that.
Work more and sleep less. Nicholas Tesla, Winston Churchill, and Margaret Thatcher all had this unusual feature. The gene basically allows a person to go through their sleep cycle in less time than regular people.
Okay, so my pool captain actually has this. Because he runs on like 3 hours of sleep and then he's good for the whole day and he works hard. So I brought this up to him. He was like, people always, he couldn't figure out what it was, and he was like, how did you know? I was like, because I'm so into science.
People need. Another gene mutation helps people keep their bad cholesterol levels extremely low.
Lucky.
The gene gives your body instructions for producing a protein that controls the amount of cholesterol in your blood. Unfortunately, only 2 to 3% of people have this useful feature.
The rest of us have to eat avocados.
Only 4% of people have an outie belly button. Several factors, like the fat distribution around your waistline or genetics, determine which kind of belly button you'll end up with. Genetics play a crucial role even in your taste buds. Up to 25% of the population are super tasters. They have more visible taste papillae, those are tiny dots littering your tongue, than regular tasters. This extra option makes them more sensitive to certain foods.
I think my mother-in-law has this.
Bitter or salty. Super tasters also have more pain receptors on their tongue. That's why they shy away from spicy food. When wisdom teeth try to break through the gums, they often run out of space and have to be taken out. Around 5 million people go through such surgery every year. But 35% of the world's population don't have to worry about pain and inconvenience. They lack wisdom teeth altogether.
My mother doesn't have wisdom teeth. I had them, but I guess I inherited it from my dad. But my friggin' roots wrapped around my jawline, so I was under for an extra 2 hours to get them out.
There. Long palm muscles helped our ancestors to climb trees. Even though most of us don't need this option anymore, some people are still born this way. You can check whether you have these muscles by putting your palm on a flat surface and touching your thumb to your pinky. If they do exist, they'll pop out of your wrist.
I have one.
Scientists claim
on my
Tibetans
left
are
hand.
genetically mutated to be able to live at such high altitudes. One of their genes is responsible for fast adapting to falling oxygen levels. The same gene is also linked with improved endurance in athletes. By the way, it was one of the fastest evolutionary mutations ever recorded in people. It developed in less than 3,000 years.
Nice.
Gray eyes are an incredibly rare body feature. Only 1% of the human population are born with gray eyes.
There was a girl in summer school. I wasn't a good student. There was a girl in my summer school, and she had gray eyes, but they were so bright they looked silver. Oh, it was so pretty.
Eyes. Such people have low levels of melanin in the front part of their irises. Blue eyes are also not as common as you might think. Just 8 to 17% of people have them. An even rarer thing is a combination of red hair and blue eyes. If a person is born like this, it means both their parents carried these genes for a child to have.
See, I find this stuff fascinating. Let's see. This is probably going to be more of the same.
Now, if
but
you need to sleep at least 8 hours just to be able to do something during the day, hey, I'm with you on that one, bud. But if you can sleep for less than 6 hours and still function without any trouble, chances are you're lucky to have short sleeper syndrome. It's a genetic condition that allows you to sleep much less than other people and not regret it at all. Better yet, there are no known side effects to it, so it's an all-around win.
nice.
On a similar note, you ever wake up and look at your tousled hair with frustration? And now imagine having this disheveled look forever and not being able to do anything about it. It's called the uncombable hair syndrome. Your hair is always sticking out every which way, and no amount of water or hair gel can tame it. Luckily, it usually happens in kids and passes all by itself as they reach teenage years. Still, what an excuse to never waste time combing your hair in the morning.
Oh, I'm so
A second
glad.
pair of arms would come in handy in a lot of situations, but an extra pair of fingers might be helpful too. About 1 in every 500 people is born with 6 digits on either hand. Hey, give me a high 6. In most cases, the extra fingers are considered useless and removed, but research has shown that those who left them could do lots of everyday things with just one hand.
There's research that came up that there's a whole village, like a family in a village, that everybody's got 6 fingers, and I think like most of them have 6 toes on each appendage, and I just find that amazing. But they're all fully functional.
Like tying their shoelaces or playing video games with game pads. Hey, I wonder if this is the next stage of human evolution after all. I guess buying gloves could also be challenging. If something doesn't seem right to you in this hand, it's
Extra
because
joint.
it has a triphalangeal thumb. About 1 in 25,000 people are born with the thumbs on their hands having 3 phalanges or bones instead of the usual 2, giving their hands a very extraordinary look. And when it happens in combination with 6 fingers, which isn't too rare by the way, the picture is even more cryptic. Such a condition doesn't bring much discomfort. In fact, some actions are even easier done with a thumb that has an extra phalange. Imagine falling from the roof of a 10-story building and getting away with a few bruises and scratches, but no broken bones whatsoever. Such a genetic anomaly was discovered back in 1994. It makes a person's bones about 8 times denser than normal, which basically makes them indestructible.
I honestly wonder if my husband has this. The only weak part he has is his ankles, and those have gotten stronger, but I mean, like, he'd break concrete with his head before he hurt his head.
Was a case where a man had gotten in a serious car crash. and not only survived, but had not a single fracture. What's even better, for him at least, is that the feature seems to be hereditary. It means he could pass it down to his kids, and they'll become unbreakable too. The next condition wouldn't give you any unusual abilities, but it looks beautiful. Heterochromia makes your eyes two different colors, say one hazel and the other blue. It has to do with the levels of melanin in your body, a pigment that affects the color of your skin, hair, and yes, your eyes. There's also partial heterochromia, when only a part of one of your eyes is differently colored. It's not too common in humans, but I bet you've seen it in dogs.
I have central and I have
this breed
partial.
is naturally predisposed to this condition, and I think it looks super cool. You've probably heard that cholesterol doesn't do much good for your body, and it's usually hard to get rid of it. Well, there are people who have a natural immunity against it. A specific gene in their bodies doesn't allow cholesterol to pile
Yeah, they
up
mentioned
in
this
their
on the
blood,
last video.
and so they can easily avoid most troubles it may otherwise cause. Too low levels of it might be an issue as well, but in most cases, it's not inhibited, just kept at bay. Our eyes allow us to see millions of colors and shades thanks to 3 types of cones inside of them. Each type is responsible for seeing a range of shades between the 3 primary colors, red, green, and blue. But there are people who have an extra cone type. They're called tetrachromats, and we can't even start to imagine what the world looks like to them. They see millions more shades than others do, and can show you the difference between 2 virtually similar colors. Interestingly, most mammals used to have 4 types of cones in their eyes in the distant past, but lost one in the process of evolution. A less impressive, but not less rare condition is the so-called double crown. Now, a crown is that patch of hair on top of
My
your head
mother-in-law has
that
this,
goes in a spiral.
and her
It's
hair
pretty hard
is
to miss
so
if you have short hair, especially
difficult.
because it's the hardest part to smooth down. Yeah, people normally have 1, but there are unlucky individuals to have 2 and double the smoothing trouble. Still, some believe having a double crown is, on the contrary, a sign of good luck or even high intelligence. If you ever wanted to meet a real-life Superman or Supergirl, seek a person with inactive myostatin protein.
What?
That's a real genetic anomaly that makes a person super strong. Their muscles grow without inhibition from early age. Kids with inactivated myostatin develop physically much faster than their peers, and when grown up, they can achieve superior athletic success. This condition was first observed in cows. Some bovines grew to be exceptionally muscular with little signs of body fat. Turns out humans can be just like that as well. Climbing mountains is not only physically difficult, but also tough on the lungs. Breathing becomes harder the closer you get to the sky because the air is thinner up there. Well, not so much for the Tibetans though. Research has shown that mountain dwellers have an exclusive genetic mutation. They can easily breathe the thin mountain air as if they were in a valley. This also makes them extremely hardy, being able to do much more hard work than regular people. That's why the gene responsible for this adaptation is also called the super athlete gene. The rarest genetic condition there probably is,
Gold
called
blood.
the golden blood, can be a lifesaver for millions of people. There are just 40 known carriers of this blood type in the world.
Well, last time you said
They
it was
don't have
50.
any Rh blood antigens, which means anyone.
So the first time I heard about golden blood, believe it or not, was in a manga. It was in Yakitaki, Japan. I won't give away any spoilers for that, other than it's very humorous bread anime and manga, but the manga was way better, because of course it was. If you're wondering what the crackling is, I pulled out a bag of Cheetos, which are spicy, so I don't want them on my fingers because I tend to rub my eyes a lot. Rip.
One can accept their blood, even those with extremely rare blood types. And although their blood isn't golden in color, it's certainly worth more than just gold. Now, if you remember Elizabeth Taylor, you probably
Purple
also
eyes.
recall how beautiful and expressive her eyes were. That was in part thanks to a rare genetic disorder, double eyelashes.
That
A small
too.
number of people around the world have 2 rows of eyelashes instead of 1, making them look just gorgeous. On the downside, the second row might get into the eye, causing irritation. So sometimes people with this condition have to pluck the excess eyelashes. Identical twins are rare enough themselves, but there's a super rare occasion of different twins. Even when they're born from the same egg, sometimes kids don't even resemble each other. In some cases, even skin color can be different. Such kids are often born to mixed couples. One of the twins could inherit a gene for white skin, for example, and the other a gene for dark skin, and voila! Vitiligo is a condition that makes the skin, hair, and nails lose color in patches because of the lack of melanin. About 2% of all people in the world have this disorder, and surprisingly, it's become something of a fashion trend nowadays. There are several successful fashion models who have vitiligo, and you can't argue that they look magnificent.
They do.
Cleft chin, just like dimples on the cheeks, looks adorable, and it's also a genetic mutation. It appears when the bones or muscles in the lower jaw don't fuse completely during the baby's development inside the womb. It's hereditary, but if you have a cleft chin, it doesn't mean your kids will have it too. There are environmental factors that can prevent it from
I have
developing.
dimples on the cleft.
If vitiligo means you have a partial lack of melanin, albinism is a condition where this pigment is absent from your body altogether. Very few people have it, and they look completely out of this world with their snow white skin, hair, eyelashes, and pale blue or gray eyes. Animals can have it too. There are particularly marvelous cases of albino peacocks.
Yes, they're so pretty.
That are completely white.
Okay, so I live in Florida, which means we have Gatorland. Are we surprised? No. They actually, when gators are albinos, they have blue eyes, unlike most animals in the animal kingdom. It's a bit redundant. As you saw, the rat had red eyes. We had an albino ferret who had red eyes because of the lack of melanin. All you can see is the blood vessels, which is why they're usually that color. But gators, for some reason, get blue.
Another type of albinism is called ocular albinism.
God, it's
The
so
difference
pretty.
is that it only affects the eyes. The pigment is lacking in the irises, making the eyes look wonderfully alien. The downside is that the lack of melanin makes the eyes really sensitive to light. So people with this condition have to take great care of their sight.
All right, let's see if we can do a test for rare features. Okay, still bright side.
Well, your body can do incredible things on its own, but you may also have features that make you stand out even from the largest crowd. Having extremely long eyelashes, having an additional joint in your fingers, or not having any lines on your palms but one, you name it. So let's find out how unique you are. Many people can roll their tongue, so it's a pretty lame party trick. But only about 15% can twist their tongue into a clover shape. How about a tongue bouquet? Only about 3% of all people on Earth have an X shape on both of their palms. Look at yours. Maybe you're the lucky one. Some say it's a sign of a strong character, by the way. Can you cross your eyes so that they look at each other? Some people,
it hurts, but I can.
6% of the world's population can vibrate both their eyes in their sockets. Looks strange, but it's actually really quick moving
It
of
hurts.
your eyes back and forth. So it depends on the strength of your eye muscles. You could train that if you wanted. Ducks,
I can vibrate
squirrels,
my eyes.
platypuses, all these creatures have one thing in common: webbed feet. Same as about 0.5% of the people in the world. The most common occasion among these lucky guys is that the second and third of their toes have a web between them that connects them. Some rare individuals have finger joints that are so flexible they can bend both inwards and outwards.
I can only do
It's
this part.
unknown how many people can do that, but you could check if you're one of them, of course.
Does that count?
There's
I think so.
an unknown number of people who have an extra joint in one or more of their fingers.
Nope.
It bends like a normal one and doesn't cause any discomfort. There's a condition where the remains of a membrane that formed while a person was still inside the womb still cover part of their eye pupil. It makes the pupil look like it has a blot right in the middle with strands going in every direction, attaching to the iris. Around 2% of people have a lazy eye. It's a condition that appears before birth when the brain focuses on the development of one eye more than the other. As a result, one eye basically looks in a different direction from what it should be. There's a little muscle in your jaw that muffles the sound of your chewing typically, and it's usually relaxed. But when you flex it intentionally, you can create a roaring sound in your head. Only about 16% of people can actually do that intentionally though. But
I can do this.
Can you flare your nostrils at will? If so, you're in about a third of people in the world that can do that. We actually flare our nostrils unintentionally quite often, but only a few can move those nose muscles as they want. Your eyes focus and unfocus on their own all the time, but about half of the population of our planet can control them. They can relax the eye muscles, make the eyes unfocus, and look in different directions. Now, all of us can raise our eyebrows. It's one of the things our mimics allow us. But only some can move one eyebrow at a time.
I can't do that.
Also,
I'll
if
do
you
one.
can raise one eyebrow, it's usually one and the same. You're an even rarer individual if you can move either of your eyebrows at will. By the way, people who can do that can also often move their ears, either one or both. Hypermobile hands are a rare thing, as only about 5%.
Okay. There's a cursed image that I used to use frequently on Discord. And it's literally a person that's able to do this, and it's like around a Bud Light can, I think it was. And then it just loops around, and you're just like, oh my god, is that real? Is that what is that? And this is what it looks like, so.
Have them. This condition allows them to bend their hands and fingers backward, and some of them can even grab things with the back of their hand. A less fortunate, but no less rare thing is being tongue-tied. It's when your tongue is literally tied harder than usual to the bottom of your tongue. Around 5% of people have it, and it does cause some inconveniences, unfortunately.
I don't have that.
5% of the human population are secretly elves. Well, maybe not exactly.
I want to be part of that. I want pointy ears.
Ears that strongly resemble elfin ones. This is caused by an extra fold at the tip of the ear, and the reason for it is still unknown. About 4% of people have a clubbed thumb. It's a thumb that's about 2/3 of the standard length, and is flatter and broader at the tip. Dreams usually come in color, but about 12% of the world's population see them in black and white. Scientists believe this is related to the emergence of color television. Before it appeared, about 75% of the people saw their dreams in black and white instead. Widow's peak is a triangular shape of hair right above
My husband
the
has
middle
this.
of your forehead, and it's a rare occasion too. Only about 12% of people have it. Also, it's a genetic thing, so it usually runs in
I have no idea if his dad had it. His dad had
amber
no
eyes,
idea.
which are a sort of a mix between yellow and brown, are a more frequent color than green or gray ones. About 5% of people have amber eyes, while green-eyed people make up 2%, and gray eyes occur in less than 1%. You might think it's not the case, but gray eyes just often get confused with blue ones, which occur in about 9% of people. If you have a dark ring around the iris of your eyes, you're one of less than 1/3 of the world's population to have a dark limbal ring. It also becomes more prominent in people as they age. So even if you don't have one now, you'll have it later on in your life. Talon cusps happen in around 4% of people. They're small bumps on the back of the teeth that usually occur randomly and look like little nails. Not only
No idea.
do you have a dominant hand, but a dominant eye. Only about 1/3 of people are left eye dominant. To check which category you belong to, stretch out your hands in front of you and make a diamond shape with them, connecting the tips of your index fingers and thumbs. Center some object in that shape and close your left eye. If the thing remains centered, you're right eye dominant, and if not, you're left eye dominant. Less than 1% of people miss a nail from birth. It's a genetic condition that literally prevents you from developing a nail entirely. Still, sometimes it's only part of a nail that's missing. A select few people, also less than 1%, have an eyeball scar. The vitreous pulls away from the retina, and it causes the pupil to sometimes lose its round shape, and a
Freaking
line that
glasses
looks
on
like a
this.
scar appears on the iris. Another group of people have exceptionally long eyelashes.
I have
There's a
curled
condition that can
eyelashes.
Make them extra thick or curly, or have more pigment too, making your eyes much more expressive. There's a rare and usually genetic condition that literally makes your skin blue. In people who have it, hemoglobin, the protein that carries and distributes oxygen to the body, can't effectively release it into the tissues. As a result, the skin bears a bluish tint, and the lips become purple. Most of us have patterns of creases crisscrossing our palms, but about 1.5% of people have only one prominent crease, while the rest are much less visible. Less than 1% of people with light hair have a single streak of dark hair on their heads. This occurs due to increased melanin production in the area. The pigment that makes our eyes, hair, and skin lighter or darker depends on its amount in those parts. Similarly, when there's an area on your hand that got less melanin than it should have, you get a patch
I think
of
this
white
looks
hair.
cool
It
personally.
can also occur in an eyebrow or in the eyelashes of one eye.
Why are you freaking?
Now, have you found any rare things that you probably have?
Yes.
Or have you met someone whose appearance is hard to forget? Please do share in the comments. That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more,
I share with
subscribe to these
everybody.
videos and stay on the bright side.
I forgot to like the other stuff. Oh, 100 body facts. Let's go. Probably already seen a lot of them. I don't care.
So you have a sixth sense. It tells you where the various parts of your body are in space. Thanks to it, you can walk up a flight of stairs or touch your nose even with your eyes closed. Your vocal cords only produce a buzzing noise. Your nose, mouth, and throat determine what your voice will sound like. If you have a deep voice, your vocal cords are thicker and your cavities are larger than
Damn,
average,
it's thick.
letting the sound resonate. By the time you wake up, you'll have forgotten 50% of your latest dream. After 10 minutes, you won't remember 90% of it. When you blush, your stomach lining goes red along with your face. It happens because your sympathetic nervous system's causing an increased blood flow throughout the body. Your hair follicles have the same receptors as your nasal passages. That's why your hair can detect scents too. Sandalwood can help you develop that superpower.
I'm allergic to
Out of
sandalwood.
5 million hair follicles on your body, only 100,000 are indeed on your head. An average human will have eaten 35 tons of food over a lifetime. That's like 3 school buses. No matter how hard you'll try, you'll never be able to tickle yourself. It's because your brain prepares the body for tickling and helps you avoid the typical typical laughing reaction. One human hair is so strong, it can hold up to 3.5 ounces. If only the scalp were that strong as well, you'd be able to hold the weight of 2 elephants with your hair. Your eye has 256 unique characteristics, and your fingers, just 40 of them. That's why retinal scanning is more reliable than fingerprint scanning. 50% of your hand strength is in your little finger alone, yet the thumb is the most important finger. You wouldn't be able to grip without it. If you stretch out your arms to the sides, the distance from the middle fingertip of the left hand to that of the right hand is equal to your height.
Yes.
An average human produces enough saliva to fill 2 swimming pools over a lifetime. Hey, dive in. Your spine has a great memory. It remembers your posture, making it so difficult to change it for the better. You owe goosebumps to your ancestors for many, many, many years ago. Their hair used to stand up to make them look bigger and scarier to foes. Cats hiss and arch their backs for the same reason. Your left lung is a little smaller than your right lung to make some room for the heart. The right lung has 3 lobes, and the left one just 2. Both of them are protected by your rib cage. Next time you get the hiccups, try bending over in a chair. Drinking from the far side of the glass also helps get rid of them. You can easily survive without your appendix, stomach, one kidney, or one lung. Hey, nice to know we have spare parts. A human eyebrow lives for about 4 months. After that, you get new ones. You, along with other humans, have the superpower of glowing in the dark, especially in the late afternoon. Your face has the strongest glow. Still, it's too dim for your eyes to pick it up unaided.
We have bioluminescence, folks.
The is, in fact, the clap of the valves inside opening and closing. The lyrics for that are, loved up, loved up. You can't breathe and swallow at the same time. While you're breathing, the pipe leading to your stomach shuts down. When you're swallowing, the gateway to your lungs temporarily closes. Under 1% of all people are born with their hearts on the right side of the chest and not the left one. You blink 15 to 20 times per minute or 30,000 times a day. Your eyes have the fastest muscles in your entire body. They slow down to 5 blinks per minute when you're looking at a computer screen. Your eyes owe their color to a pigment called melanin. People with brown eyes have more melanin than green-eyed individuals.
Oh, pretty.
If you have blue eyes, it means the eye tissue is completely colorless. Your eyes get color just like water in the sky do. They scatter light and reflect blue light back. The first known person with blue eyes was born in the Stone Age, around 7,000 years ago. I wasn't around then. There are
Lies.
about 3 million sweat glands in your entire body. Many of them
And I hate all of
on the
them.
soles of your feet and on your palms, forehead, armpits, and cheeks. With every sneeze, the air is traveling out of your nose at a speed of 100 miles per hour. There's no wax in your earwax. It's made of fat, skin cells, sweat, and dirt.
Yay.
Yum. Before you try to get rid of it, remember it protects the ear from bacteria, dirt, and dryness. Stress and fear boost its production. If someone made a camera out of the human eye, it would have a resolution of 576 megapixels. Your brain can hold up to 25 million gigabytes of data. Not my brain. You swallow every minute while you're awake and 3 times per hour when you sleep. That sums up to 600 swallows per day. Gulp. If you're left-handed,
Not gonna make a joke.
on the left side, and if you're right-handed, on the right side. Your fingerprints will always find a way to grow back their unique pattern, no matter how bad you damage them. Every human has a unique pattern of ridges and furrows in their ears. They also sound different, thanks to microscopic hair cells in your inner ears. You need a powerful microphone to pick up the noise they produce. The way you walk is your unique feature. Machines can easily distinguish your individual tiny ticks, bounces, and ways of swinging your legs you use with every step. Your sense of smell helps you taste 80% of the flavor of any food. That's why it seems so dull when you hold your nose or have a snack while traveling by airplane.
Or if you have a
It makes your
cold.
sense of smell weaker. Women are better at remembering faces and tasks for the future, but easily forget what has been done. It's the opposite for men. Your eyes can change color as you age, or even depending on your mood or dieting habits. 300 billion new cells are born in your body every day. Now that's recycling. Your fingers don't have a single muscle in them. Their joints move thanks to the muscles in the palm and forearm. Your fingernails grow faster than your toenails. That's because you use them more actively, and they get more sunlight and air. Your eyes send a 2D upside-down image of the world to your brain. It quickly corrects it and turns it into a 3D right-side-up image that it's used to. There's more nerve cells and connections in your brain than there are stars in the Milky Way. If you decided to count them all, it would take you 3,000 years. To make it easier for you, you have around 100 billion neurons in there. The space between your eyebrows is officially called glabella. You're taller in the morning than in the evening. Gravity makes the cartilage around your bones compress over the day, making you shorter by the time you go to bed.
Well, you need to stretch.
Your fingernails on the right hand grow faster than your left one. That's because you use this hand more often and are more likely to damage it somehow. Your body's trying to protect it and sends more blood and nutrients its way. If you walk a healthy amount of steps every day, you'll have covered 100,000 miles by the time you're 80. It's like circling the equator 4 times. The largest muscle in your body is the gluteus maximus at the back of the hip, and you're sitting on it. But, never mind. The tiniest muscle in your body is in the middle of your ear. Its main purpose is to stabilize the stapes, the tiniest bone in your body. It takes care of transmitting sound waves to your inner ear. You spend about 5 years of your lifetime eating and 1/3 of your life sleeping.
Well, I better get on it.
150 pounds has a skeleton
Hi,
weighing
Mama.
21 pounds. So I guess the remainder is meat and stuff. Your heart beats over 2.5 billion times over your lifetime. Your skin thickness is different throughout the body.
We learning
You have the
today.
thickest skin on the palms of the hands and soles of the feet, and the thinnest is on your eyelids. It takes your skin cells 28 to 30 days to completely renew themselves. Even if you only have less than half of your liver left, it can still regenerate to its original size.
Yep.
Your taste buds only live for 10 to 14 days. Then they renew. Then what? Everything tastes fresh? Even when you're resting, your brain uses more than 20% of your body's energy to keep it going. The brain's main function of processing and transmitting data is
How you doing today,
when
Mama?
it comes to energy costs. Your big toe bears 40% of your body's weight. Without it, running and walking would be slower, shorter, and less efficient. Thanks to zero gravity, your discs in between each vertebra expand when you're in space. That's why you can grow
You got to
up
sleep
2
in a
inches
bit.
taller. An average adult body is home to 7 octillion atoms. That's 7 billion billion, or 7
I'm
followed
spiffy.
by
I decided to
27
stream
zeros.
early so I could enjoy,
A caterpillar
science
has
and
more
share it with
muscle than
people.
you do. It's 4,400 versus 650. Your peripheral vision is almost completely black and white. It's because you have more color-detecting cones in the center of your retina than at the sides. An average adult human body has enough fat in its cells to produce 7 bars of soap. Your sweat itself doesn't smell like anything. The bacteria living on your skin mix with it and give it that notorious smell. You get red eyes in photos because when the camera flash goes off, your pupils don't have enough time to constrict. A large burst of light reaches your retina and it bounces back.
No, don't show the kids this. They need to know about the 1980s demon possession of everybody. Holiday not at your house this time. It's at your grandma's, so less work for you. Awesome. I'm just here. Kiddo came over yesterday and we had chicken tacos. I actually failed in making mac and cheese with the Gouda because it was fancy Gouda and it broke. So it got kind of gritty and there was no flavor for some reason. So, that was life. I'm actually waiting for eggs and butter to do its thing because I'm going to make a honey cake later. I have like a liter of honey and I'm not going to just like consume it all, so I need stuff to cook it.
Your legs feel lead heavy when you're afraid because of the adrenaline that gets in your system. It turns on the fight or flight reaction. Your body sends blood flow to your most needed areas to let you take action and protect yourself. Women can distinguish more colors than men because they have 2 X chromosomes and men only have 1.
See, this is amazing stuff. We super.
Even if something is wrong with one of the chromosomes, a woman can still see colors correctly. That's why women are rarely colorblind. No matter how slim or plump you are, you have the same exact amount of fat cells as everyone else. When you work out and diet, they don't go anywhere, but shrink in size and can grow back again. All muscles in your body are connected to bones
Mine are
at
thick.
2 ends to be able to pull and create motion. The only exception is your tongue. It's connected to a part of your neck on one side and is free on the other side, so you can make funny sounds. The weird
Blah, 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 blah.
flies you see right in front of you
Try doing it with dentures.
are eye floaters. You see them because of tiny structural imperfections in one particular part of the eye that get in the way of light. They get worse with age. Oh, goody. An average woman speaks about 20,000 words a day, while an average man only speaks 7,000 words. That's because the brain region responsible for language skills and social interactions is larger in females. Your hands and feet alone would look rather creepy. They also contain more than half of the bones in your entire body. Each hand has 27 bones, and each foot has 26. Your thumbs have their own pulse, because there are big arteries inside them. That's why you can't feel your pulse in the neck with your thumb. You spend 10% of the time when you're awake with your eyelids closed. It's all those times you're blinking. Humans are capable of using echolocation, like bats and dolphins. With some training, you can find your way in complete darkness, analyzing the surroundings by sounds bouncing off objects. Oh, need to practice that. On average, it takes 7 minutes to fall asleep. There are some techniques to speed up that process to 120 seconds though. You can physically see your nose, but the brain chooses to ignore it. Otherwise, it would stand in the way of your vision. Plus, it would be out of focus. Around 12% of people can't dream in color. There used to be more of them before color TV had been invented. All your muscles relax at the same time right after you've fallen asleep. Your brain thinks you're about to fall and sends quick signals to all of your muscles to awaken them. That's why it sometimes feels like you're literally falling.
I experience this frequently, and I hate it because it's like the only time I get anxiety anymore.
You've inherited fingers that get wrinkly from water from your ancestors. It gave them the grip they needed to survive in rainy weather. Your toes get wrinkly too, to let you stand on a wet surface safely. Many centuries ago, people used their wisdom teeth to chew through tough plants and roots. As their brains grew bigger, leaving less space in the mouth, these teeth became the extra ones. Now you can just cook your food and survive without them. Every day, an average woman unknowingly puts on about 515 chemicals on her body. They come from deodorants, shampoos,
deodorant,
moisturizers, and other beauty products. Most of them are harmless. You can't sneeze when you're sleeping because the nerve cells in your nose that activate sneezing are sleeping too. You can't sense smells in your sleep either. An average person has around 250 hairs per eyebrow, but some lucky fellows have a total of 1,100 hairs. They keep raindrops and sweat from getting in your eyes. Your skeleton completely renews itself every 10 years or so. The process never stops, but slows down with age. That's why your bones become thinner. An adult takes 12 to 16 breaths per minute. It adds up to a total of 17,000 to 23,000 breaths daily. If you stretch your entire network of blood vessels, its length would be enough to circle the Earth twice. That's over 60,000 miles, and you would be very sore if you did that. Women have more taste buds on their tongues than men. 35% of women are super tasters and have more than 30 taste buds in the space the size of a hole punch on their tongue. That's an interesting comparison. Sugar is sweeter and sodium is saltier to them. Blondes have the biggest number of hair follicles, around 146,000. Second place belongs to black-haired people. They have 110,000 follicles. If you have brown hair, there are around 100,000 hair follicles on your head. With an average of 86,000 follicles, redheads have the least dense hair.
Yeah, well, mine's silver. What I got?
Might get bigger, but it doesn't mean your bones are growing. It happens due to weight gain and loose ligaments that make your feet flatter and wider over time. When you have that stomach in your throat feeling on a roller coaster, some of your organs are really shifted. It happens to your intestines and stomach, which are connected rather loosely and is harmless. It says here. Your teeth have enamel on the outside that makes them just as strong as a shark's. They aren't as sharp though. Your hair can stretch about 30% of its length when wet. Your brain constantly needs oxygen and uses 20% of its reserves in your body. When you're trying to solve some problem, it can even use more oxygen, up to 50%. If you decided to smooth out all the wrinkles in your brain, it'd be a flat surface the size of a pillowcase. As you're listening to music, your heartbeat syncs with the rhythm. Faster tempos make it beat faster. Your diaphragm sometimes twitches, which makes you suddenly intake more air. Your throat closes and interrupts the intake. This is how hiccups work. Unlike what every space movie tells you, you won't instantly freeze if you got into open space without a suit. Space vacuum is a great insulator, so you would retain your heat for some time. Just don't make a habit of it. The atoms in your body are billions of years old. Nearly all of them were made in a star, and many have come through several supernovas. It makes you a big chunk of stardust. Scientists still don't know why humans yawn. The most popular theory says it happens to cool down your brain and regulate body temperature. Humans are the only animals that have chins. Even chimpanzees and gorillas have lower jaws that slope down and back from their front teeth. When you're breathing, most of the air is going through one of the nostrils. After a few hours, it starts going through the other, and they keep switching like that. Your nose can pick up about 1 trillion smells with 400 different types of scent receptors. The sound you hear while cracking knuckles are gas bubbles bursting in your joints. Ooh, more fun body sounds. You burn calories when you're just breathing, watching TV, and even sleeping. By the time you turn 60, you will have lost almost half of your taste buds. That's why most elderly people don't notice the unusual or bitter taste. It only takes you 0.05 seconds to recognize a sound. That's 10 times faster than blinking. It's virtually impossible to destroy a human ear. Water, cold, and corrosion can do nothing to it. The only way to go is to set it on fire. Nah, don't do that.
Or bleach
Around
them.
1% of people are missing a special lens in the eye and can see ultraviolet. Famous Impressionist painter Claude Monet belonged to that 1%. When
That's
you sleep in
cool.
a new place, half of your brain stays awake. Thanks to that, you'll be able to quickly get up if you have to protect yourself from something or someone. The way your sneeze sounds depends on your nose size. The larger the nose, the bigger the sneeze, because more air can go in and out.
My nose
All
must
the
be
strangers
huge.
from your dreams are real people you've met at some point in real life. You just didn't remember them. Unlike other cells, neurons can't replace themselves. If you type 60 words per minute for 8 hours a day, it would take you 50 years to type the human genome. That sounds like a big waste of time. There's a name for the dip between your upper lip and nose. It's philtrum. Some people can navigate using the magnetic field of the planet, just like birds. Me? Nah, I can barely use my GPS.
That's pretty awesome. What's this? Okay, here's a good one.
Okay, here's the first one. Myth or true? Carrots can help you see in the dark. Myth. While carrots are full of vitamin A, which helps maintain eyesight, you won't get night vision. In the 1940s, British Air Forces invented a new radar, and to keep it secret, they told everyone it was carrots that helped them see at nighttime. Diamonds aren't a special gemstone. True. While diamonds may be a great engagement rock, they're not as rare as we've been made to believe. Advertising campaigns have made this very common rock something extraordinary. If you want something really rare, paint-out gems will look beautiful and empty your wallet at the same time. Around $50,000 a carat. Fruit Loops have different flavors. Myth. There's no point in avoiding the color you don't like. All the colors are the same flavor. Even Kellogg's has stated that they all share the same blended fruit flavor. Well, now I don't know what to believe anymore. Dropping a penny from the Empire State Building can obliterate a person below.
Nope.
Myth. While the penny won't tickle, it will not damage anyone on the ground. Simply, the penny can't build up enough speed while it's tumbling to the ground. Better to just keep the change in your pocket. The moon has a dark side. Myth. No, the moon isn't going to use the force to rule. Our satellite is tidally locked with the Earth, meaning that we're always looking at one side. But there's no permanent dark side.
No.
Kleenex was originally designed for gas masks. True. Yeah, Kimberly-Clark originally designed a thin cotton substitute to be used as a filter. In 1924, Kleenex began selling in the U.S. as a cold cream and makeup remover, eventually turning into the soft tissues we love today. Chocolate is bad for you. Boy, isn't that a myth. While too much chocolate, just like too much of anything,
Unless your mama ninja is
can do
allergic.
some harm, a little bit can be quite good for you. Not just any chocolate, though, only the dark variety. Yum. Weekend sleep-ins will help you catch up on lost sleep. That's a myth. As comfy as your bed is on a Sunday morning, you just can't make up for lost sleep. Irregular sleep can lower your concentration and performance. If you're refreshed when you wake up, you've had the right amount. Zombies are real. True. Now, no human has ever turned into a hungry zombie that we're shown so much in the movies, but they do.
Okay, I don't know if they're going to show this, but cordyceps are an actual fungus that get into like ants and stuff and turn them into zombies. So, for some reason the name's eluding me. It's a game that's been remade so many damn times now. But, yeah.
Do exist in the animal kingdom. A fungus that has a really long name I don't want to pronounce takes over ants with its
Cordyceps
tentacles.
unilaterale.
Under the control of the fungus, the ant leaves its family to find a very specific branch or leaf. Then it lets the fungus sprout out of it and release spores back into the world. How delightful. The largest living organism is the blue whale, African elephant, or shag. Myth. While all of those are large, the honey fungus in the Blue Mountains, Oregon, wings by quite a bit. With a length of 3.4 miles, that's 6.5 Burj Khalifas end to end, and it's still growing. But on the right side, it's edible. Mushroom omelet, anyone?
Delicious.
Turkeys can blush. True. Just like humans, turkeys blush when excited, angry, or sick. The skin on their heads and necks can turn red or even a shade of blue. The fleshy flap of skin that hangs over their neck is called a snood. It also turns bright red when the bird is excited. Yeah, maybe not at Thanksgiving though. We only have 5 senses. Myth. There's no right number. Some say 5, 7, 14, 24, or even 57. Our most basic senses are actually sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. But also movement, body position, temperature, balance, and the sense of our internal state, like feeling your heart. For example, close your eyes and touch your nose. That's proprioception, or body position. Bats are blind.
Myth.
Bats' eyesight
And they're
is
friggin'
actually
cute.
better at nighttime than ours. They just can't see as well in daytime. because
Look,
they
they're
don't
so
see
cute
black
little
and
sky
white.
puppies.
Perhaps this myth arose from the fact that bats use sonar to navigate without sight. Unicorns are real. True. They're not horses, though. It's deer that are likely the culprit. A single horn can be a genetic anomaly found in some species, possibly leading to the unicorn legend that formed a long time ago. Honey never spoils. Myth. Uncovered in a humid environment, it will spoil. As long as the lid stays on it and no water is added to it, honey shouldn't go bad though. Having antifungal and antibacterial properties means no organisms can live in it. No matter how old your stored honey is, it's probably perfectly edible. Oranges are always orange. Myth. Sweet oranges are a hybrid of tangerines and the pomelo, with a bright green skin to help protect them from the sun. In warmer climates like Southeast Asia, oranges are still a bright green when ripe. Makes you wonder what came first, the fruit or the color. There are bugs in your strawberry frappuccino. True. But not anymore. A dye made of ground up tiny insects called cochineal bugs is used by many companies to make the color red. Starbucks stopped using bug red color in their strawberry frappuccinos in 2015. Firefighters use wetter water. True. To be more efficient at stopping fires, firefighters recently started adding certain chemicals to the water. The wetting agents reduce the surface tension of the water, making it easier to spread and soak into objects. Leave wasps alone and they'll leave you alone.
Myth.
While this works for bees, their cousins, the yellow jackets, will disagree. Known as one of the most bad-tempered wasps, they've been said to sting unprovoked, even if you just happen to walk by their nest. If you see wasps, give them a wide berth. The Eiffel Tower was supposed to be torn down after 20 years. True. The Eiffel Tower was designed to show off France's industrial power during the World's Fair. The designers cleverly put transmitters and antennas on top to make the tower too useful to eventually demolish. Head lice prefer dirty hair. Myth. Lice don't really think about hair cleanliness. They simply need human hair to hang on to, whether it's squeaky clean or greasier than a fryer. Lice feed off of our scalps, and the hair is just a place to hang out. Camels' humps store water.
Like fat.
Camels don't store water. They store fat in their tissues, just like me after the holidays. These reservoirs
And I was a crap student.
allow camels to survive for days in the desert without stopping for
It's
food.
making us talk into a
They drink
tree.
large amounts
Cool.
of water at a time and store that in their bloodstream. You need to drink 8 glasses of water a day. Myth. Staying hydrated is critical, especially in hotter weather. But we seem to forget that every drink is mainly water, even tea and coffee. Our bodies are the best indicators for when to drink water. Feel thirsty? Then it's time to have a drink. An elephant never forgets. True. Having the biggest brain of all land animals, elephants should have a great memory, and they do. Being able to remember their entire territory, friends, and...
Which words make your head itch? About the lice? Like anytime there's a bug that's like, just like, I can feel it, make it go away.
Spots to find water is crucial to the social structure of elephants. They might even have a better memory than you and I. Now, where did I leave my keys? Bananas grow upside down. True. Bananas grow naturally towards the sun as they're getting larger. That's why there's a curve. So does that mean we've been peeling them the wrong way this whole time? Maybe. No number before 1,000 contains the letter A. True. Now you can try and spell each number out if you like, but I bet you're just going to take my word for it. The Guinness Book of World Records was created to settle arguments. True. The world's best trivia book was published in 1955 after an argument about the fastest game bird in Europe. The managing director of Guinness Brewery realized there wasn't a go-to book for trivial questions, so he created his own, and the rest is history.
If this is something that all I can think of is like, there needs to be a D&D version of this, because that's exactly how I can imagine, because there's so many like arguments and discussions and everything when you play D&D.
You're eating real wasabi.
Myth.
When you're sitting down for tasty sushi,
Unless you go to Kurazushi.
paste sometimes isn't wasabi, it's horseradish. Real wasabi is very expensive with a milder taste to it. If it's
even a
not
little
made
sweet.
in front of you, it's not going to be the real thing. So there.
I like these myths and truths.
Things our parents lied to us about. Parents, they are the people who always know best. They are there when we take our first steps and make sure we don't step too far, or touch a stray dog, or stay up late playing video games, or eat too much chocolate. When we ask them why, they always give us good reasons and explanations.
Are you guilty of any of this? I might be.
It turns out they are not always the most reliable source of information. We decided to think back on all the myths our parents told us. You can now surprise your parents with all the new answers you've got, or choose to keep it to yourself. Either way, we are sure you will feel happy and relieved about all those facts uncovered. Counting down from number 10, your ears go red when you lie. When we were kids, every once in a while, each of us did something we wanted to remain a secret. Something like smashing our mom's favorite vase, eating all of the candies out of the box, or getting an F on a very important test. Nah, that never happened to me. Sometimes we did manage to make these things go unnoticed, but sooner or later, the truth revealed itself to our parents. What did we do then? We got creative. We made up beautiful stories of alien invasions, or Cat being crafty, or our teacher being jealous of our success. Our parents somehow still managed to get to the truth. They explained it saying that your ears go red when you're lying. Lying might make Pinocchio's appearance change, but you are not him. The truth is, blood vessels in the ears regulate the temperature of the body. So if they are red, it means the body is overheated. Your parents most definitely just wanted to teach you that it's better to always tell the truth. Or maybe they really believed in red liar symptom. Try telling them the truth now and see if their ears turn red if they start denying it. Number 9. If you sit too close to the TV, you'll hurt your eyes. Are you wearing glasses or contacts? If so, your parents might tell you it's your fault. You did not listen to them as a child and watch TV, which was too close to you.
I stared at the sun.
This is a very popular misconception. We have some good news for you. You don't have to blame yourself for wanting to get a closer look at Spider-Man back then. In fact, you can blame your parents for your bad eyesight. An extensive long-term study has shown that myopia in children doesn't have anything to do with watching TV or sitting in front of the computer. Myopia is genetic, and you most definitely inherited it from your parents or grandparents. However, it does not mean that you should let your own children spend all their time in front of the TV set. Being outdoors is good for them in many ways, and it makes the risk of developing myopia smaller. Number 8. You'll get sick if you stand near a working microwave. Microwaves, those exciting machines which make corn pop and are not for drying out your hamsters. They turn some magical invisible waves into heat, or...
Why would you say something like, obviously, but oh my god.
Or so you thought as a kid. Did your parents ever tell you that microwaves are dangerous and can make you go radioactive? Yeah, they most likely did. However, it is not true. Modern microwave ovens are totally safe as long as they are fully functioning and you follow all the manufacturer's instructions. Also, it is proven that microwaves don't bring radioactivity to either you or your food. In fact, they work like light bulbs. The energy is only there when it's on, so feel free and safe to enjoy your microwave popcorn. Number 7. You'll get arthritis if you crack your knuckles.
This one was told to me all the
This
time.
misconception is very popular, but there is absolutely nothing to worry about. No connection has been made between arthritis and cracking knuckles. Bones don't pop, but air bubbles do. Now, why would your parents tell you the opposite? Maybe because their great-grandparents started this chain of lies. Or maybe they just can't stand the sight and sound of knuckle cracking. That's it, right there. Number 6. You'll get acne if you eat too much chocolate. Acne is every teenager's nightmare. It comes out when you expect it least. Pimples were most likely with you on your first date, or on the day you had your senior portrait taken. Your parents always told you it is the fault of your chocolate-loving self. Well, it is not true. Acne is an inflammation of the skin, and chocolate doesn't cause pimples to appear. There is research that says otherwise, but scientists think it's controversial. You can still tell your own kids chocolate.
Hey Mama Ninja, somebody who can't have chocolate, do you have any skin issues? Did you?
But it's the cause of acne, though. Keep all that sweet stuff to yourself. You deserve it. Number 5. If you swallow chewing gum, it'll be in your stomach for 7 years. You've always wanted to impress someone with those big bubbles.
They're trying to say that some parents tell their kids not to eat chocolate or give them acne. Like, is your skin perfect? Was your skin perfectly soft and smooth when you were a teen? Since you're allergic to chocolate. Mine wasn't. Is your skin smooth as porcelain throughout your whole life? For those that don't know, I do believe that Mama Ninja is a very pretty person. Well, you can tell them that chocolate has nothing to do with it.
You glow. Or maybe you just like trying all the new tastes and sometimes got blown away with that strawberry pineapple feel and swallowed it. You sentenced it to 7 years in your stomach before it could be digested. That was something your parents told you, perhaps to make you be more careful about it or love it less. In fact, if you swallow chewing gum, it will be digested just like anything else. The only difference is that it will take a little more time. In the end, it will leave your body freely and naturally. Number 4. If you touch a toad, you'll get warts. Have you ever kissed a toad
told that one.
hoping it would turn into royalty?
No.
Many times. Or maybe you have found them cute with their big eyes and funny noises they make. In any case, your parents most definitely did not appreciate your love for toads and told you they would give you warts. Don't blame the amphibia. While toads and warts might look like they are of similar nature to some, the reasons why warts appear are reduced immunity and human papillomavirus, HPV. You are more likely to grow some warts if you use public showers and deal with raw meat or have eczema. Number 3. Your hair will grow faster if you have a cut more often. For some of us, every visit to the hairdressers is still a traumatic experience because of childhood memories we have. We were always told not to cry too much over all the hair we lost because it was supposed to grow back faster. Unfortunately, hair growth rate doesn't depend on how often you have a cut. The average hair growth rate is 0.01 inches per day. Many factors affect it: age, hormones, and even the time of year. Number 2. If you get scared when making a face, it'll stick that way. Did you often surprise your parents or siblings with scary or funny faces? Then you most definitely often heard that you could stick with that look on if someone scares you. Of course, this is a myth. No connection has been found between getting scared and dysfunction of the facial nerve. The truth is, your mimicry was perhaps so impressive it really scared or bothered your parents too much. That's why they had to find an explanation to stop you from doing it. And number 1, if you play video games for too long, you'll destroy your TV. Once upon a time, in a small town in Ohio, there used to live a boy. His name was Billy, and he spent all day, every day, playing video games. He never played with other kids outside. He did not eat. All he did was play video games. 3 weeks later, his TV said, "I can't take it anymore," and broke down. Have you heard this story? Of course you haven't, because it never really happened. But your parents might have told you something like this to prevent you from spending all your time with a gaming controller in front of a TV. The truth is, TVs break down over time, no matter how often you play video games. Are you visiting our channel for the first time? Did you like it? Yeah? Then click subscribe and give thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video. And be sure to join us on the bright side of life.
Let's see. Which to go for? 10 things parents should never do for their kids, or 50 plus survival skills when you only have seconds. Let's do survival skills. I don't want to find out that I'm actually like a terrible parent.
There's a widespread misconception that if you jump a moment before the elevator hits the bottom, you will somehow decrease the impact on your body. Firstly, how are you planning to understand when you should jump? You can't see through metal, can you? Secondly, even if you somehow manage to jump, which is extremely difficult due to being in a free fall, the speed decrease you can hope for is about 2 miles per hour or 3 kilometers per hour.
Maybe lay down?
It's definitely not enough to save your life. What is worse, you might hurt yourself badly if you hit the ceiling with your head. Jumping is not worth the risk at all. Mythbusters tested this approach. Believe us, it didn't end well for the dummy inside the elevator. Standing up straight and hoping for the best is also not the best idea. Nothing good is coming. What is coming is a weight 10 times larger than that of your own body dropping on your legs at the moment of impact. Now, with all due respect, neither you nor anyone else can survive that. So, now that we're clear of what you should never do in a falling elevator, let's get to the best course of action. Your best bet would be to lie flat on your back. This position will help you distribute the force of the impact.
Yes, that's that B in physics.
Yes, your small thin bone
Why are you smoking?
Snap anyway, though it mostly depends on how high up you were when the cable snapped. But it might help you avoid more serious damage.
Spreading out.
Nobody's absolutely certain. It's probably pretty hard to think clearly in such a situation, but you should also remember to cover your head with your hands. When the elevator lands, it will most likely be destroyed, so protecting your head from debris might save your life. If you're trapped under an avalanche, spitting can help you out. As soon as you stop moving, make a little hole around your face. Spit in the air pocket and see where gravity carries your saliva. Then start making your way out by digging in the opposite direction. If suddenly you notice that the water recedes quickly and unexpectedly from a beach, exposing the ocean floor, You should warn everyone around and get away as fast as you can.
Tsunami.
Because when the waterline is abnormally far from the shore, this is a sign of a tsunami. No air pump and a flat tire is a bad combo when you're far from home. To fix your bike, grab a bunch of grass or leaves and evenly pack the tire with as much as possible. That will be enough to reach a safe place. Now, do you know any other tricks to fix a flat tire without an air pump? Share your wisdom in the comments below. If you're under attack by a moose, those creatures are huge, try to hide behind a tree. Those animals have a blind spot in their peripheral vision, so they will lose you and you can escape easier. If a black bear is chasing you, remember that you shouldn't turn your back on this animal or try to run. Either of these actions can make them hostile. Your best bet is to lie flat on your stomach to protect your organs, crossing your hands behind your neck to guard your arteries to convince the bear you don't pose any threat. Also, don't climb a tree. They do it better than you. Oh, and if you see Yogi Bear, don't try to look like a picnic basket. He'll steal you every time. In case of emergency water landing, don't inflate your life jacket before getting out of the plane. You'll end up not being able to move without help since you'll float up to the cabin ceiling. The safest thing to do is take a deep breath and swim out of the airplane, taking your deflated life jacket with you. Only when you're out of the plane, you can finally pull the inflation cord. If you're in a cold house and no heating or electricity is available for some reason, find a few large bricks, a terracotta pot, and some candles. Light the candles and put the bricks around them. Then cover the candles with an upside-down pot, placing it on the bricks. Now you have a DIY heater that can heat a whole room.
Just make sure that you blow out the candles before you fall asleep.
Keep low to the ground. The greatest threat comes not from the fire itself, but the smoke. Since it's lighter than air, it goes up. So you should stay as close to the floor as possible to avoid breathing it in. If you're accidentally caught in a rip current, don't try to fight it and swim straight back to the shore. You'll just get exhausted too soon. Instead, try to swim parallel to the shore until you exit the current, and only then move toward the shore. If you're trapped on thin ice and there's no one to help you, lie down on your stomach and spread out your arms and legs. If you have ice picks, use them as a grip to get back to safety. If you don't have them, then you'll have to roll away in the same direction you came from. This will help to spread out the weight of your body evenly. If your car conks out in the middle of a railroad track and a train is approaching, abandon the vehicle as fast as you can. After that, run away from the track, but towards the upcoming train. If you choose the same direction as the train is moving, you'll find yourself in the path of your late car's debris, and you'll have to duck under the flying big pieces. The most common heat stroke symptoms are nausea and dizziness. But how can you be sure if it's heat stroke if these symptoms are common for so many other issues? Well, eat something sweet, like a lump of sugar or candy. If the treat tastes disgusting, immediately seek medical help. You're having a heat stroke. Imagine your car got stuck far away from civilization, and you don't have a phone or radio to call for help. In this case, a simple spare tire can save your life. While burning, it will produce thick black smoke visible from miles away, and chances are somebody will notice your SOS signal. But remember this, never ever wander far away from your car. All too often, rescuers find undamaged deserted vehicles, while the drivers who've left them in search of help don't survive. You've probably heard that lightning doesn't hit in the same place twice. Well, guess what? It's just a misconception. The probability of a second strike is pretty high. That's why you should stay away from a spot hit by lightning. The safest option is to lie down in some hollow in the ground, since lightning tends to hit higher grounds. Get rid of all metal objects and your mobile phone. 3 to 4 seconds before lightning strikes, you'll feel a metallic taste in your mouth and your hair will stand on end. Immediately sit down, bring your heels together, and place your hands on your knees. If you suspect that some object might be electrified, but you have to check it, touch it with the back of your hand. This way, if your suspicions are correct, you'll get a charge out of it, and you'll be able to snatch your hand back. But if you touch this object with your palm, the electric charge will make your hand form a tight fist, and you won't be able to draw it back. You can make a fatal mistake if you follow the popular misconception of trying to suck the venom out of a snake bite.
Goes way too
The same
fast.
goes for applying bandages and something cold on the wound, or burning it. What you have to do is give the victim an antihistamine, make them drink a lot, and take them to a hospital right away. Never touch the area around the wound, otherwise the venom will spread way faster. If you're calling an emergency service, first of all, give them your address. Only after that should you explain the reason for your call. In this case, even if something or somebody forces you to end the conversation, the operator will already know where to send help. Avoid open fields. Make sure there's something taller than you around.
1 second. You need to go out. Okay, it won't be long before Popper probably wants to come back in, but he's out now.
Like your big tall friend there. Oops, just kidding. Trees, buildings, and utility poles will act as lightning rods for
Welcome
you,
back.
so never stand close to them. Also, avoid metal and concrete. They both conduct electricity too well for comfort. Remember that a lightning storm lasts only from 30 minutes to an hour, so it's always better to lose time and wait in safety than risk and get zapped. Even if you're dressed warmly enough, there are always some parts of your body left exposed to cold weather. A simple can of petroleum jelly will help you with that. Apply it to exposed parts of your skin, and it will protect you from frostbite. But don't rely on it for long periods of time. Seek shelter or fire as fast as you can. Another trick is to let your shoes a bit loose. It will help blood circulation in your feet and will make them warmer. You need a magnet, a needle, something floaty like foam or straw, and a glass of water. Magnetize a needle by rubbing it against a magnet. Then put 2 pieces of floaty stuff you have on both sides of the needle. Let it float in the water, and it will eventually stop in one direction.
Yep.
Just like a compass, it will point to the north. Getting a couple of bites is not that extreme, but trying to find your way in the wild without getting a good rest
hate
is
mosquitoes.
dangerous. You can repel all flies and mosquitoes away by burning herbs. Garlic, rosemary, mint, or thyme. All of these herbs' smell will scare away all the pesky insects around.
Nice.
Or you can make a trap. Cut a plastic bottle in half and put sticky tape on its edges. Pour sugar water inside and add some yeast. Mosquitoes will get attracted to it and then trapped on the tape. See? Now you're going to start carrying yeast with you on your camping trips. Hey, rise and shine.
I don't
let
go
yourself
camping.
Go dry. Use dew and collect rainwater. Having a tent with you is good anyways, but try to hang it a bit loosely so it will collect water for you. If there's no such luck as rain, tie a scrolled piece of cloth around your leg and go through the high grass in the morning. It will collect dew that you can squeeze out into a bottle. Take 2 containers, one a bit taller than the
I
other.
haven't since
Fill
Girl
the tall
Scouts.
container with dirty water. Twist a piece of cloth and put one end of it into the filled container, feeding the other into the empty one. It will take some time, but a piece of cloth will soak up all the moisture and transport it from one vessel to the other.
Look at
Good
us
news is
figuring out
all
stuff.
the dirt and debris will be lost in the process. Don't forget to boil the water to further assure your safety. You'll need a 9-volt battery for that. Simply putting both contacts of this battery against a piece of steel wool leads to a small short circuit spark that spreads right away. Put some cotton balls to the plate where the spark appears, and here you go. You've started
It's been
a fire.
30
Just remember
years
that
for
you need
me.
to always keep the fire small and have at least one trusty way to quickly extinguish it. Those currents are streams of water appearing near the shore and pulling away from it with huge force and speed. Swimming against the rip current is useless because they're too strong, but they're also quite narrow, so you can safely swim alongside the beach in any direction to get away. As soon as you feel like nothing is dragging you, you can swim towards the shore. Just do it at an angle. If breathing masks emerge, put on yours immediately, and only then pay attention to those around you. Try to fly on bigger planes. They can absorb more impact during extreme landings. The best seats you can get are the 5 rows nearest to the emergency exits.
Aisle seats.
Statistically, the ideal time to get away from the plane after crash landing is around 90 seconds. Read the safety card and follow all the instructions of the crew. If you see it's getting alarmingly crowded, try to find possible escape routes and places to cover around you, and have more than one direction of movement in mind. Don't try to move against the crowd, but go with it and to the side instead. This way, you'll reach the edge of the stampede and possibly the escape or cover you noticed before. Keep your hands up at all costs. They'll make you room to breathe. Look at the parked car before driving. If you see frost on the rear windows, well, that's a big clue. So plan ahead and drive accordingly. For example, your stopping distance should be around
frost?
10 times longer than usual. If the car is skidding, don't hit the brakes hard. Just take your foot off the accelerator. It will help your car to find grip with the road again, and then you can gently steer it to the right side. Try to wear 3 layers of clothes. The first layer should repel sweat. The second is for insulation and general warmth, and the external layer should protect from moisture.
I don't have
and
these
wind.
problems.
Avoid wearing cotton, as it gets wet pretty soon and won't protect you from cold. If you came home after spending lots of time in the cold, don't rush for a hot tub. It's best to start with changing clothes and eating warm food. Don't look them in the eyes. For animals, it'll be a sign you have bad intentions. Don't panic and move slowly. Give the animal room to go away freely. If you have a backpack with you, don't stick to it. Try to dish it off your shoulders. It will ease your movements and also may serve as a distraction. Don't scream at animals to look more menacing. It'll only provoke them to prove you wrong. The Heimlich maneuver, a powerful thrust on the upper part of the stomach, right below the ribcage, used to shoot out whatever got stuck in someone's throat. You can use it on yourself too.
I've done that.
Clench your fist and put it between your ribs.
I didn't know about this. I was only 14 when it happened, and I was at Disney for my birthday. And I choked on a bratwurst. Ha 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 ha. And my mom was too busy laughing to realize that I was actually choking. Like, there's no air. There's no me being able to ask for help. So I got up, and I leaned over the back of a chair, and that was enough.
Cover it with the palm of the other hand, and then push once as hard as you can. You need to cough forcefully during the whole thing. In a wildfire, choose where to run depending on the wind direction. If it's blowing toward the fire,
I got very
you
lucky.
should run into the wind. But if the wind's blowing towards you behind the fire, better skedaddle perpendicular to it. This will help you to avoid both the flames and the sparks carried by the wind. When you've fallen in cold water and can't swim to the shore, hug your knees close to your chest. If there are other people with you, huddle together to keep warm. Do that until help arrives. Don't use water to extinguish a grease fire.
No.
Water and oil don't mix, so it'll only make things worse. You need to smother the fire by cutting off the oxygen. Put a metal lid over it or a damp rag. To escape from a car trunk.
Remember,
boy,
damp
what a
rag.
day. Find the trunk release inside. It looks like a glow-in-the-dark handle. All American-made vehicles built after 2002 are required to have it. But if the car is older, rip the wires out of the brake lights and kick them out. Then you'll be able to slip your hand through the hole and let people know you need help. If you happen to have
Flour's
an analog
flammable.
watch, you can use it as a compass. Place it flat on your palm.
I'll show you after this video, but flour is very flammable.
In the northern hemisphere, align the hour hand with the sun. South will be halfway between the hour hand and the 12. If you're in the southern hemisphere, point the 12 directly at the sun instead. A bee constantly bumping into you is a sign of a swarm planning to sting, so find shelter ASAP. And don't wear dark clothes in places with bees. They find it threatening, so they're likely to become defensive. If your car broke down in a remote area without a phone signal, burn one of your tires. Thick black smoke will attract attention for sure. Always put your electric car key fob on your bedside table before going to sleep. If a burglar tries to break in at night, press the panic button. The sound of the car alarm will probably scare them away. Now imagine someone is about to tie your
Or they'll
hands
shoot
with a
you.
metal cable. Keep your elbows close to your ribs. This way, there will be some extra space between your wrists when you straighten out your arms. Carefully twist your wrist to free one hand through that space. Say you've run out of food out in the wilderness. Oh boy. You can actually eat the bark of some trees, mostly birch or pines. Cut off the rough, darker outer bark to get to the soft,
And if there's
light inner
spruce
bark.
tips, you can use
eat it
those
raw,
too.
But frying and boiling it will make it easier to chew. Don't walk up or down the stairs with your hands in your pockets. If you slip or trip, you need to be able to quickly catch the handrail or protect your head. To open a car with a frozen lime, put a plastic drinking straw into the keyhole and blow into it a few times. The heat from your breath will unfreeze the lock. Before going on a camping adventure, prepare some cotton balls soaked in Vaseline and put them in a closed container. Now you'll always have perfect fire starters. No matter whether you live near the coast or travel there for the weekend, you should know the signs of an approaching tsunami. It might be a deafening roar that's
We don't
coming
get
from the ocean,
tsunamis.
or some other unusual ocean behavior. For example, the water may suddenly drain, showing
We
the
have
ocean floor.
riptides,
Or
hurricanes,
vice versa,
water
a wall of
cyclones,
water
but
may
no
appear on
tsunamis
the
here.
horizon. Also, pay attention to strange behavior changes in animals. If they unexpectedly group together, hide in different nooks, leave the area, or show extreme anxiety, these may be signs of an approaching natural disaster. As soon as you hear a tsunami alert, don't wait for even a second. Evacuate immediately. Leave behind your personal belongings and documents. Now is not the time to think about your possessions. Gather your loved ones and use any available transport to get away from the coast. Hop in your car, get on a bike, or simply run as fast as you can. Move as far away from the shore as you can, heading toward high hills, mountains, or a forest. If possible,
Be careful
go
about
at least
hills.
2 miles inland and 100 feet above sea level. If you're trapped by the rising water, choose the highest and most solid building and climb to the top. It's not an ideal way out, since the construction can collapse under the force of the tsunami waves.
Friggin'
But
anglerfish.
at least it's something. Also, keep in mind that roads often get wiped out by tsunamis. Therefore, after everything's done, you may have trouble finding your way back. In most cases, tsunamis are closely linked to earthquakes. That's why you should try to escape to open areas with no or few buildings to avoid being hit by falling debris. On top of that, stay away from power lines, walls, bridges, and whatnot. Even if these constructions look sturdy enough, they can collapse during the aftershock.
So another like. So I'm going to show, just because we're doing science, flour flammable. Let's see. Let's just do this one. It's on the top. Science Fix.
The bowl is all-purpose flour used in everyday cooking. And what we're going to do is try to add a flame to the flour and see if it burns, see if it ignites. And you'll notice when...
Well, if you're yeeting it over fire that's already there.
It does brown, it does blacken a little bit of it, but it really doesn't ignite or burn too well. And the reason is you have to spread out the particles of flour so that it's surrounded by supply enough oxygen gas molecules to start the chemical reaction and drive the chemical reaction. So we need to spread it apart. Well, let's see how to do that.
Dump it out. Yeah.
Took about a cup of the all-purpose flour and put it into a sifter. So shake the sifter, spreading out the flour particles really widely. At the base, we have some
Please find other ways to put out your kitchen fires, Mom and Ninja. I want you to
as
live.
well. So as the individual particles hit the flame, there's not
You're like, oh no!
to
I've antiqued everything, and then I burnt it down.
oxygen gas molecules around each flour particle as it is spread out to ignite and fully burn. This also happens in grain silos. Grain silos, there's always a danger of some of the grain dust spreading out, and if there's an ignition or a spark, it can ignite all that.
Why are you igniting anything in your grain silos?
This is very similar to that. It's kind of neat to watch. You can see the hot air pushing up the smoke in the unburned flour particles up there.
I need to give you a like. Grazie. I never have fires in my kitchen, plus I have one of those red things to hose on. You mean a fire extinguisher? But you just told me that you put things out, fine. Jesus. Don't, somebody do not do things. No, I don't want any more. No. Oh my God. So much stuff. I like science. Oh. Okay, so we did that. Let's see. More science. We can pretend that I know how to spell, or that my C key is not insensitive. Perfect. What type of science should you freak out? Forgive me for caring about your safety. I gotta find something I haven't seen yet. Ach du Liebe. The worst chef on the internet. Funniest food fails. Okay.
People that lost the food lottery. Shout out to my boy Spunkbert Squanch.
What in the hell happened here?
Orange got Vecna's curse. Ugh, I can't believe what I'm seeing right now.
Oh my God,
Lightly
no.
salted. The snacks on the plane were the one good thing airports had going for them. That's just sad.
What the oh, these shorts. Okay. I'm a peasant, it's fine. Try food horrors? Okay. Would you... Hang on. What is this? How do I change the title? Do you know how to change the title to Food Fails? Food horrors. Maybe cooking horrors. I don't know if I could handle that. Oh, come on now. Well, Chuck. I hate not being able to log in and have a mouse on this. Okay then. Well, we'll start on a thing. We'll do August the Duck.
An app that allows you to find recipes that are likely to...
But first, I gotta change over to this thing. I appreciate it.